Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Ryan Garcia, he does it again. Pulls out of a fight with JOJO DIAZ. We're going to talk about that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more bad news. Before I get started, I don't know how you found this video, but somehow, some way you did it. You arrived, you made it. Help others find this content with a simple free gesture by smashing the like button. It goes a long way when you guys hit the like button. A couple steps, subscribe, hit the like button. Let's get it. Let's get today's bad news. So, you see it on the screen. Boxing reporter Jake says, sources tell Boxing Scene that Ryan Garcia has been forced to withdraw from a November 27th fight versus Joseph JOJO DIAZ due to a hand injury, which will require immediate surgery. A contingency is being worked out, but nothing yet is in place. Garcia versus DIAZ. Oh my gosh. Man, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane for Ryan Garcia. It says Golden Boy has now confirmed Ryan Garcia will undergo hand surgery to his right wrist Monday, Los Angeles. No mention of the November 27th date, as the fight was never formally announced, was originally supposed to be announced earlier this week. Now, either Ryan Garcia has the worst luck known to man in the world of boxing, or something else is really going on here. This really puts me in the headspace of when Golden Boy was in charge of Canelo's career. It really does, because if you remember those last days where Canelo, baby, you want baby, I know that. When Canelo was with Golden Boy in those remaining days or moments or whatnot, this is exactly what was happening for Canelo Alvarez's career, right? Canelo was in all of these messy situations where at first his team was negotiating with Sergey Kovalev, even though he did fight him, but that's not what I'm talking about. He was in negotiations to fight Sergey Kovalev in September when he was with Golden Boy. But somehow, some way, those negotiations stretched, took a long time and didn't pan out. And then Kovalev said, hey, I got to fight my mandatory Anthony Yard. Y'all are taking too long. We want more money. We'll fight you, but you got to give us X, Y, and Z. We know you got it. Danny Jacobs made this type of money to fight Canelo, and I'm a light heavyweight champion, so you're going to pay me. They didn't do it. They didn't want to do it. So Canelo had to forfeit later when Kovalev went a different direction because they couldn't agree on the money. Kovalev ended up fighting Anthony Yard, as I just mentioned, and Canelo had to forfeit his date of September. But he also tried to have last minute negotiations after the Kovalev failed with Sergey Deryevchenko, right? Sergey Deryevchenko. That was his mandatory in the weight class he was already at 160. Those were short-lived, and then Deryevchenko, and I could pull all of this stuff up. I'm the king of this. I'm the god of boxing talk. What are y'all talking about? Let's go. So his mandatory was Deryevchenko. And then look, boom. Canelo's IBF belt and title is stripped after talks with Sergey Deryevchenko stalled, August 2019. So it's looking eerily similar. Golden Boy was handling the career of Canelo Alvarez, and somehow, some way, the Kovalev negotiations went on and then hit a snag. Then they switched to Deryevchenko, and then they hit a snag, etc., etc. At times, Caleb Smith and Canelo, Caleb Smith and Billy Joe Saunders, these were all when Canelo was with Golden Boy. Even though he later fought a lot of these guys, Caleb, Saunders, Kovalev, He later fought them. But I'm talking about when he was with Golden Boy, he was supposed to negotiate these fights. After he left Golden Boy, Canelo did like a tell-all with Graham Bensinger, and he says Oscar's not really the Golden Boy. He don't do all his stuff. There's a lot of people that make things move, and it's really not Oscar. He's too busy partying. This, now fast forward to the future, is a terrible look for Oscar De La Hoya. I do believe he makes a strong case, right? A bad look, because now the next Canelo left. That's already done. Canelo's gone. He said, "Hey, peace." He's out of here. So he's already doing his thing. He about to fight Caleb Plant next month, less than 30 days on PBC, a company De La Hoya used to work with. Now, the second biggest person that Golden Boy has in the absence of Canelo Alvarez is Ryan Garcia. I mean, he had like almost 9 million followers, right? So he's the next biggest thing. And look at it. Look at his career. The man fought the first month of 2021, right? He fought against Luke Campbell, I believe in Texas. Hard fight, and many thought Ryan, even though it was resilient because he got up from being dropped and badly hurt in round 2, some people said he was exposed. So to me, something is up. I don't think that Golden Boy, in lieu of losing Canelo, have faith that Ryan Garcia is ready for some of these tougher fights. So as a result, things keep happening. So after the difficult Luke Campbell fight, Ryan got through it, stopped Luke Campbell. That's Luke Campbell. That's a UK domestic level guy. You know, old media said Luke Campbell was the greatest. I never rated him like that. I thought he was cool. Yeah, you know what I mean? But he wasn't a world beater. But a person that I did rate at lightweight and said he's a tough fight and he was a boogeyman was Javier Fortuna. Ryan Garcia, he announced that he was fighting Javier Fortuna in a now deleted post. And then literally a week later, he pulled out the fight. Like literally within 10 days, right? Pulls out the fight after announcing Javier Fortuna. And one thing that I noticed, it looked like a setup because the flyer looked very cheaply made. Like it didn't even look like an official announcement, but Ryan posted it. So everyone was like, okay, it has to be official, right? Golden Boy had this like cheap made flyer. And so I'm starting to think that the intention, I've always actually thought this, to be honest. The intention was for Ryan Garcia to never go through with that fight, because what would happen in the course of 7 to 10 days to the point where you think you're healthy or well enough to fight, and then without any major things happening, like it's not like he had a bereavement, the death of an immediate family member, or, you know, his girl had a miscarriage, you know what I'm saying? Something crazy, right? What would happen to the point where you announce the fight and literally a week later pull out, say you have too much on your plate and too much anxiety? And then he's doing videos at Disney World or wherever, Hawaii, Chihuahua, and it looks like he's perfectly fine. Then shortly after that, he's doing Twitch, the Body Shield Challenge, Aiden Ross videos, and he's kicking it with Twitchers. And then now, another difficult fight. Listen, I didn't like how Devin Haney was treated, but I told you Ryan Garcia versus JOJO DIAZ, it's a solid fight, but the only gripe I had, literally the only gripe I had with this was the fact that both of those guys were Devin Haney mandatories, and both of them talked ish about Devin Haney in different regard. Ryan, after the Jorge Linares fight, he said, "Sorry, Dev, if that was me, I would have KO'd you." And he had previously said he'll fight Devin. Didn't happen. JOJO DIAZ post-fight after the Javier Fortuna win for Ryan Garcia, because Ryan pulled out, he said he'll fight Devin and called him out. And then he was talking back and forth on Twitter. Now, we never even had a formal announcement for the fight. and then the fight's already canceled because Ryan has hand injuries. I mean, this is just crazy. This is crazy. Ryan Garcia is starting to have the boy who cried wolf type of career, where it's like, I mean, he either, like I said, he has the worst luck known to any 22-year-old boxer, or something else is up and they don't believe in him, or he's not motivated. It's something, you know. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think that something is. But to be honest, this is a bad look for Canelo's gym. You got Oscar Valdez with the T situation, and then a lot of people thought he lost his fight. You know, the Canelo Alvarez, he's doing his thing. He's in a difficult fight, so I'll exclude him. But then Ryan Garcia pulls out of the Javier Fortuna fight, and now they're saying he has an injury before they even formally announced the JOJO DIAZ fight, which again would have been a tough fight. You know, it's just like, it's looking like Ryan needs more time, because you got to answer some questions. You got to ask yourself some questions. You've been on recess, you know, champion recess or interim champion recess or whatever, based on anxiety. How do you have a hand injury? How do you have a hand injury? The fight was never even announced. I mean, were you doing difficult sparring and the fight had never even officially been announced? Were you like that deep in your training camp? Were you doing an Instagram video and you hurt your hand? I don't know. It just sounds very cloudy and mysterious in my opinion. You know, it doesn't make sense. You heard it on this piñata doing this Gymshark video. Like, how did you hurt your hand? And if you had lingering hand injuries, you've been off for all this time and you didn't get that taken care of, and then people think you're gonna fight JOJO DIAZ. This just can't be a good look. You know, it can't be a good look for Ryan Garcia. And this is after, I mean, it's so multi-layered. He said he was fighting Pacquiao, Cap. Before that, he said he was fighting Gervonta, Cap. JOJO DIAZ has no, listen to me, he has no, Ryan did it, whatever. He has a hand injury, wish him a speedy recovery. But JOJO DIAZ must fight Devin Haney. And the WBC did everything they could to try to protect Golden Boy and allow for this fight and order the fight. Now with Ryan pulling out, there's no way JOJO DIAZ should be fighting anyone else other than Devin Haney, because you try to fight a non-mandatory and then he don't want it, or he's injured or whatever they're saying. JOJO gotta fight him. The pressure's on. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm the best of the business. Subscribe to the channel.